It is with great pleasure and deep honor that I welcome you all here today to our amazing evening with Tony Redhouse. Tony Redhouse is an amazing man, multifaceted, bringing healing to our world. He is an expert on Native art and spirituality for recovery. Tony is a spiritual teacher, visual artist, 5-time Native American Music Awards recording artist, meditation music facilitator, inspirational speaker, hoop and eagle dancer, traditional and life and death coach, which some of us can relate to that, and certified yoga teacher. And I'm just saying that as a brief kind of tapestry of his life. His presence on the earth at this time is one of the lights that we can call upon. And as UCM is moving out more into the community, born in 1908 to create a safe harbor for people to practice their spiritual gifts, this has been what Tony has done, bringing us in honor of and in celebration of Indigenous Peoples Day, this opportunity to experience his wisdom of the sharing of the circle. And I just can't thank you enough, Tony, for what you have given. I feel like we have braided sweetgrass in a way together by blending these two communities that we have in our world, and hopefully it will spread out and reach everyone who is alone and needs to be brought into the circle. And I'm going to introduce our wonderful Corey Gott, president of UCM.
Thank you, Janet. I just want to thank everybody for being here this evening. We're going to be doing a new format for our educational committee, and I applaud the educational committee for this wonderful person they have brought to us. And I'm just looking forward to this evening, and I hope you all embrace what Tony has to offer us, for it is indeed in line with our way of thinking and believing and feeling, and it's being compassionate and thoughtful and kind to the world. So thank you all. I will be here. I might go off Zoom I might go off camera, but I'll be here. So thank you all. And as the recording gets done, we will be able to post it up to YouTube, so you can always share it with your friends. And please just know that we do accept donations, and you can do it via PayPal on the website, the u-c-m.org website. Feel free if you can afford it, and do not be ashamed if you cannot, but we're here to help each other. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Corey. And what we will be doing is all sharing our energy in an amazing way today, led by our wonderful Tony. Also, I want to particularly thank Chris Brown from our educational committee, who made it possible for us to have the connection with Tony. And so if she is on, I want to give a big thank you, and we want to give a big thank you to her. And Tony, my wonderful man, please take it away.
Okay. Thank you so much for...
I'm sorry. I forgot to light our candle. So I apologize. This is a tradition we've started on our educational series of light is like the universal symbol of hope and healing and comfort and the gift that we can give to and for each other. And so this is made of an origami crane and an origami heart. And it's a yellow candle, if people can't see it, and with a blue crane. And before my brother died, he taught me how to make the origami crane, which is a symbol of hope and healing. And so we light this candle for all of you and the light we can be for each other. And of course, for Tony.
ah, hey, yeah, young, ah, yeah, ho, hey, 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 yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, young, ah. Yeah, ho, ho, hey, 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 ya, hey, hey, yeah, young, way, hey, hey, yo, ho, way, hey, hey, yo, ho, hey, hey, yeah, young, oh, honey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ashana, way, hey, young, oh, honey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ashana, way, hey, young, ho, 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 hey, 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 hey. Oh, honey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ashana, way, hey, young, yeah, ho, ho, hey, 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 yeah, hey, hey, yeah, ho, ho, hey, 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 yeah, hey, way, hey, yo, ho, way, hey, yo, ho, hey, hey, yeah, ho, 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 hey, 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 ho, 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 hey, 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 oh, honey, yeah, 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 Ashana, way, hey, yeah. So in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day, it's fitting for me to honor my ancestors. So I shared a song from our culture, the Dene, the Navajo Nation, and the song that was a medley of songs that my father used to sing around our home and our house. And so I wanted to share that with you just to let you know the energy that I came from, and also to honor my ancestors, because all of us are shaped and have been brought into this world with our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, all standing behind us. So we are the link to the present world. And we have been given gifts. We have been imparted with wisdom. We have been given medicine in our blood. And so we are the next link to the present world that we're living in now. And so it's very important that we honor all of those standing behind us, and and be able to appreciate all the gifts that they've given us, and for bringing us into this world. And so I wanted to share that song with you. You know, in Native American tradition, we talk about the circle of life. And some of the teachings that I share are from my hoop dance, and from looking at the circle of life, going into the circle of life over and over. And so the circle of life is the way that we perceive our existence as human beings and in the universe. And so when you look at your circle of life, it's not a square, it's not a triangle, It's not a line that begins and ends, but it is a continual cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. And there are transitions in our circle of life. And what gives us that beautiful balance are the four directions that you find in the circle. You find your mind in the east, the mental, positive thoughts. You find your physical body, your strength, your vitality, your nourishment, non-GMO, organic, strong immune system. And you find that strength in your body in that good rest, that deep sleep. And then in the west direction is where the sun sets. And when the sun sets, it becomes dark. And the west direction is the spiritual direction. And darkness is not something to fear. When I teach value drawing to the drug addicts and alcoholics that I work with, I use a strong light source. And it creates a very dark shadow. So they can define that shadow with the charcoal. And so the west direction is where the sun sets. And darkness simply means that you're going beneath the surface. You're going behind the scenes. You're going underneath something. You're going within. So darkness is not something to fear. It's something that you want to be able to embrace. When you close your eyes and go into meditation, it's dark. When you close your eyes and go into a dream, it's dark. But when it's dark is when you do not have all the distractions of the superficial world and all the complexities and all the things whirling around and all the division and craziness in the world. And when you go into that place within, that's when you find the beauty within. If you take something that's very dark, and sometimes our life, when I work with drug addicts, life can look really dark, almost like a dark labradorite sphere, okay? Just looks really dark, almost black. And sometimes life can be like that. Sometimes there can be challenges. Sometimes we have health issues. Sometimes we have conflict in relationships. Sometimes we have uncertainty. Sometimes we don't know what to do next. And life can be dark. But when you take that darkness and you shine the light, there is a beautiful fire that is always within each of us. That blue fire is freedom. And so we don't want to fear the darkness. We go into the west direction. That's where we find the truth. And that's where we find the beauty of who we really are inside here, okay? It's not the superficial. The superficial can look perfectly fine. You know, you look at a table or you look at an object and it looks perfectly fine. It looks hunky-dory, just the way it is. It appears to be nice. But when you look underneath something and you go into the shadow, you go beneath a table, you go beneath a vehicle, you go beneath yourself, that's where you find the truth. You find out how something is really made. You find out how you're really made. And so we want to go into the west direction because it is a place of truth. In the darkness, what I teach is in the darkness is where we see the true light. And so many times we go through the dark times and, you know, there's pandemic time, the isolation, being, you know, out of community, being alone, very much like a hibernation time. And it's beautiful when we hibernate, right? I mean, it's part of the seasons. I mean, you think about even the four directions being the seasons of the universe. A healthy season would be springtime, summer, fall, and winter. Healthy. Each season has its unique energy, the nature, the plants, the trees, all of life responds and cooperates with springtime. The flowers start blossoming. The grass is nice. The grass is nice and green and shiny and crisp. The bear comes out of the hibernation and stretches out. So everything's alive. Springtime. Summertime, the heat of summer comes in Arizona. You really feel it, okay? And so the heat of summer comes, and then the heat stops. And it says, okay, it's time for us to close shop now. Time for us to stop so that we can allow the winds of change to come in the autumn, in the fall. And the fall comes and the leaves begin to change color. They begin to change color. They're not the vibrant green that we're used to seeing. We're not the vibrant green that we're used to seeing. The things that are so significant to us, that are so valuable, cherished, the things that we love, begin to change color. We begin to change. And so the fall season is a beautiful time of changes. How many of you find that your leaves are changing? My hair is changing. I'm getting the grays more, and some, even my leaves are changing. And then the fall season says, okay, it's time for us to slow down, time for us to stop. And then the cold of winter comes. And all the birds and animals say, okay, it's time for us to close shop. Let's hibernate, let's go within. So it's beautiful to have these seasons: springtime, summer, fall, and winter. It's healthy. But let me tell you this, when we are in hibernation, as we've been in COVID and in the pandemic, and we've been isolated from other human beings, and we've been alone with our thoughts, and we've been meditating and contemplating and reassessing and eating the nuts and the berries and the things that we've gathered up in all the other seasons. If that hibernation is too long and too drawn out, then it creates an imbalance. And so we want to be able to gather like we are now. See each other, look at each other's faces, smile, talk to each other, connect with each other, wave at each other. Okay. So we want to be able to do this and not remain in hibernation for too long. If I'm in hibernation, if I'm in meditation for a long time, it's beautiful. I go deep within. I start looking at things in my life, things that I need to heal, areas that are still needing to be resolved, and all those things start coming up. But when you're looking at it constantly, then it becomes unhealthy. Okay. So then we need to start talking to each other. We need to start communicating. We need to start sharing our feelings with other human beings, because we are a family. And so the west direction is that place of darkness. And then the north direction is that place of the release, letting go, soaring like an eagle. And so this is a beautiful place. So when you look at the circle of life, it teaches us many things. Very simple. It's not like we need technology. Okay, we don't need to get on the computer. We don't need to Google things. Spirituality is not something that is abstract, mystical, mysterious, that we need to go to seminars for. Okay, spirituality for us is something that is applicable to our daily life. We want it to be accessible. We want it to be understandable. We want our children to know what it is. We don't want to have to look in the dictionary, to read books about it. So you look at the circle of life, and a little kid can understand, oh, that's a circle of life. That's my life. Okay? It is a balanced shape, and it goes around smoothly. It's not a square. It's not a triangle. There's no hidden closets. It's wide open, transparent, vulnerable. This is how we want our circle to flow smoothly. How many of your life flow smoothly like this. Your relationships, your home, your marriage, your work, you know, but this is the ideal though. We want our circle to, this is why we have the circle, because it teaches us that our circle can be balanced if we have our mind, our physical body, our soul and our prayers, and all of our relationships healthy, at peace, strong, developed, appreciated. That's why the circle is round, okay? Not because you're eating a bunch of donuts. It's round because you have your mind, your physical body, your soul, your prayers, and your relationships healed, appreciated, and developed and loved, okay? So that's beautiful. And we have our circle of life like this. Now, when we come together for this time tonight, you know, just simply being human beings and saying, okay, we're going to come here and meet with Tony Redhouse and Janet and Corey and, you know, Gail and Bonnie and Kathleen and Dahlia and you know, Nancy and Lauren. And we come together and we say, okay, we're going to come meet here at 6 p.m., you know, and we're going to bring our circles of life. Each of us have our unique journey, our story, our family, our culture, our experiences, and all of us say, okay, we're going to come here and meet. When we come here and meet, and our circles of life come together, just by that simple act of us deciding to join together and come here tonight, and us simply being here now, we have been able to, just by us doing that, we have been able to create what you call community, okay? So community is when our circles, individual circles of life come together and we have a supportive community, all of our unique circles creating something stronger, more complete, more supportive, more encouraging, and more whole and complete than our individual circles. So we create community very simply by being here. And that's beautiful. I'm grateful that each of you are here. And so I want to thank you for doing that. Now, what we are hoping for in our life is that each of us will become that beautiful eagle and that we will, because we have that beautiful balance in our life, that we will be able to soar to our highest dreams. The North direction is a place of soaring. It's a place of the elders and the ancestors. It's a place of letting go, letting God, and it's a place of soaring. Okay? It's not a place of trying to prove, trying to do, trying to find our significance. We've already done that in the East direction, the South direction, the West direction. We've done that in childhood in the East direction, adolescence in the South direction, middle ages in the West direction, and now in the North direction, we're those seniors and elders who sell everything we have, buy an RV and go across the country and don't care about anything. We're carefree. This is that soaring. The eagle only flaps 5 or 6 times an hour. The rest of the time, it's just cruising like one of those big old Cadillacs down the freeway. Hydromatic, okay? So we want to be like that eagle that's soaring, not flapping away like a sparrow in a strong wind and not getting anywhere. We want to be like that eagle. And so it's my wish that and hope that each of you will be that eagle that will soar to your highest dreams. And it all begins with one circle of life. It all begins with that balance and us being able to flow effortlessly as a circle of life. And so I've been able to gain some of this wisdom, as I mentioned, from my ancestors. My Grandfather, my father's father, was a medicine man. He was a healer. And that's where I get my blood. I was on stage when I was 5 years old. My dad chose me out of 6 kids to be on stage, made a little Native American outfit for me, standing behind me with his hand on my shoulder and his other hand on my arm, in the international pageant in Monterey, California. Little boy next to me is Spanish, so he's dressed like a matador with his mom. So my dad put me on stage when I was 5 years old. Pretty much like Michael Jackson began when he was 5 years old. You don't really know who you are yet. It's terrifying to be in front of an audience because as a Native American little boy, I was very shy. My mom said I tried to hide in the house before the pageant because I didn't want to be on stage. But I realized that that picture was the beginning of my journey. And my dad had wisdom and sensing and intuitively knew that I was the one that would be a spokesman and that I would be in front of people like you, in front of schools, in front of psychologists, in front of behavioral health colleges, in front of drug addiction programs, and sharing these things with you. And so I'm always going to be honoring my ancestors and their wisdom in knowing this. I'd like to share a little bit of prayer with you. And as Native Americans, and because it is Indigenous Peoples Day, that's why today I decided to dress out, okay? I was actually not gonna dress out today, and I was actually gonna just wear something that was gonna be more easy to put on. And I decided I was going to put on as much as I could because I wanted to really represent my culture, you know, and the things that I made with my hands represent me, the colors, the beadwork, the designs, everything is a picture of me. And that's part of the story that we have, is that whatever we touch, what you touch is who you are. These are all teachings that I share. What you touch is who you are. What you choose is who you are. The person that you touch in a relationship, that you chose to be your partner, that is a reflection of you. The blue beadwork that I put on the background of what I'm wearing, the regalia, is the color of the sky. The sky is a wide open space for the eagle to soar freely. Blue is freedom, wide open space, okay? That's why I put blue in my beadwork. And so all of these choices that we make in life, you can really identify who people are. You know, you can look at the things that you're wearing right now. You know, the color that you're wearing. Gail's wearing red. You know, that's passion. That's the color of the blood flowing through your veins. That's your life force. I want to do things strongly. I want to be passionate about things. I want to go for it. Okay. So you look at the colors and you can identify. I can identify people just by looking at the colors, because those colors represent something in nature. So once again, for Native Americans, we observe and we watch, and we look at nature, and we look at the attributes of animals, of birds, and we look at the seasons that are changing, and everything is speaking to us, and it's a reflection of us. We can internalize and say, okay, this is something that's happening in my life. And so when you use something as simple as color, then it has something that is saying something about you. It's making a statement about you. So what you touch, what you pulled out of the drawer is you today. Okay, tomorrow may be orange. Tomorrow may be blue. Tomorrow may be green for healing. Okay, tomorrow may be yellow for the sunshine, for the warmth of love. So all of these things have beautiful meanings. And so I'd like to take a moment to guide you in a little prayer. And ceremony is something that is very vital to us as Native Americans. As Indigenous people, we practice this. It's not so much the need to be at a place at a certain time. You know, I was raised Catholic. My mom was Catholic, strict Catholic, you know, and as a strict Catholic, I learned about ritual. I learned the importance of ritual. I don't judge it. I mean, I'm not continuing to follow in that path. I've gone back to my Native American ways, but the importance of the things that we learn can be very good lessons to us. The importance of ritual, you know, and I was a little altar boy when I was in the Catholic Church. I was dressed in a little robe, and I knelt behind the priest when he was raising the host in the Eucharist, and I was learning my first percussion. I learned to do things on cue as a percussionist at a very young age in a Catholic church. And I learned the beauty of pure brass tones. And hence I do sound healing, every kind of sound that you can imagine. So as a child, in your very beginning, just as I showed you the picture of me when I was 5 years old, the way things begin is the way things are going to be. When you were 5 years old, what were you drawn to? What captured your senses? What brought joy to you when you were in your room playing with something, when you were out in nature looking at something? So you can rewind the clock in your circle of life and go back to the beginning, and you could find out who you really are. Many times this is where you find who you really are, is when you were 5 years old. And so this is part of my transitions work, hospice work. So we want to really, you know, find out who we really are in here, and not what society, not what family, not what people, the expectations that they want on us. We want to be able to go back and say, okay, who really am I? And you usually find it back here in the beginning, the start. Before things got complicated, before things got crazy, before you got into relationships, before things became confusing, before we started following what everyone else wanted us to do and the expectations of society, there was a little person back here that wanted to do something. And so we want to always go back to this. So I'd like to share a prayer with you. Once again, ceremony is the things that I learned in different belief systems, the rituals involved. Okay. And as Native Americans, we use certain tools, and very simple, so a little child can understand these. And in fact, spirituality is so simple that kids already know what it is. We try to make it into a religion. Man's mind is so itchy that it wants to make everything into something that we can control, that we can own. Native Americans call the great mystery the great unknown. That means, in a humble way, I just don't know everything. Somebody asks me a question and they say, hey, what does this mean? And I'll go, I don't know. I won't try to sound like I know everything, okay? And so one of the beautiful things about our culture is that it's not a push button spirituality, not drive-through spirituality. You know, I did a show recently in Phoenix, and I did an hour show. I interactive. I brought people up drumming and dancing and singing. I did live sound healing. I was very inspirational, got the audience involved, and I was tired after an hour. And one of the the audience members, they came up to me and thanked me. And then one of them came up to me and said, can I interview you? And can you tell everybody on my channel, if you only had 60 seconds to live in your life, what would be the most important thing for you? And I thought, I'm tired right now. And this is not the time for me to be answering something like that. Push button spirituality, right? Drive through spirituality. You have to add the answer right now. I said, no, I can't do it right now. I'll call you later. And so what I was saying is that we Native Americans, we witness, we observe, we wait, we watch, we pray, and then we speak. Before this time tonight, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, pondering it, meditating about it, even before I decided I was going to do this. Okay? So everything that I do, it takes thought and prayer. And so prayer is a very beautiful thing for us. And once again, it's very simple. I'm going to take a pinch of sage and cedar out of this buffalo pouch. Sage and cedar, because male and female energy. So when I pray, I like to combine male and female energy to bring that completeness. The sage is strong, pungent, very significant smell, the white sage. The blue sage, the cedar are sweet. So I put blue sage, white sage, and cedar in here. So I have strength and sweetness, both. Each of us, every single one of us have male and female energy. And so we want to be able to put all of that into here. So I'm going to have each of you take a pinch with me. Here's the pinch. And I'm going to have you take a pinch of sage and cedar, and you're going to put it into this abalone shell. Okay? So what this pinch is going to be, what is your prayer today for your life? What is the miracle that you need in your life right now? What is going to heal the deepest wound in your heart? What is going to solve the biggest question in your mind? What is going to bring you that beautiful harmony in your life today? This is going to be your prayer. All it takes is one pinch. Doesn't take a bunch of things. We can bring everything down to one pinch. One thought, one sound, one emotion, one memory. And so I want you to think about, what would be that pinch? If I could take one pinch and I can have that miracle in my life, the answer to my prayer, what would it be? What would that one pinch be? So here's the pinch. We're going to put it into the abalone shell. Okay. And now I'm going to light this with fire. Once again, the simplicity of our ceremonies, of our spirituality, it's not about a place or a time. This is life. This is a life journey. Ceremony is not about going to a certain sweat lodge at a certain time. It's not about going to a yoga place and getting into that triangle pose, okay, at a certain time with certain people. It's not about going to a meditation center at a certain time in a certain place. We put a lot of thought into those things, but that's only a micro way of looking at ceremony. All ceremony in Native American tradition is to restore balance. That's all it is. Any ceremony you go to, it's going to restore balance in my personal life, and then hence it's going to restore balance in the community and then in the world, okay? So any ceremony that we practice is for the purpose of restoring balance, which means I get out of balance. And I do get out of balance as a performer, as a musician, as an Afro-Cuban conga drummer. You know, I working in facilities, three drug addiction programs in Tucson. things can get out of balance. And so that's why I have to have ceremony that gives me that beautiful circle back, okay? So it's not about a time or place. If we think about going to a certain service, going to a certain meeting, going to a certain meditation time, going to a certain yoga class, that's going to make everything right for me. We need to take it into a macro level, not micro. What I teach is this: life is a ceremony. It's not a place or a time. Life is a ceremony. You are always in ceremony. Each day, each prayer, each thought, each word are rituals that create your ceremony. But your life is the ceremony. So we're not so concerned about being perfect and doing everything, according to the expectations of a religion, because we realize that life is a ceremony, and that ceremony is right in here all the time. And we're practicing these rituals, different ones throughout the day, throughout the week, all our whole life. So I'm going to light this with fire. And when you see the smoke rising, that is your prayer. So once again, it's not abstract spirituality, mystical, mysterious. It is applicable daily use. You bring heaven and earth together. Heaven and earth are one. Life and death are one. Male and female are one. Every culture is one. Every belief system is one. All is one. In our heart, we understand this. The animals know this. The rocks understand this. The birds understand this. Human beings in the mind have fragmented, divided, categorized everything so that we can control it. And so we need to get out of the mind, and we need to go back to the heart. I'm going to light this with fire, and you are going to see your prayer. Literally, if you were here right now, you would be able to smell your prayer. You would be able to experience it. You would be able to witness your prayer actually rising up as smoke. Smoke is once again a symbol, just like the circle of life is a symbol. Smoke is a symbol of your prayer rising up to the heavens. I'm going to send it up on the wings of the eagle, so I'm going to use an eagle feather. Once again, another symbol of that spiritual messenger, because the eagle flies so high in the sky past the clouds that eagle is going to be carrying that prayer up to the spirit world. So we're going to light this with fire now, and I want each of you to know that you have put your prayer in here. This is a community prayer. Each of you are unique. Each of you have your own challenges, your own desires, your own dreams, but each of us have put our pinch in here. And now we're going to light it with fire, and we're going to watch this prayer go up to the heavens on the wings of the eagle. When you see the smoke rising, you will see your prayer. Once again, nothing abstract here, nothing mystical. It's right here, right now. We want our prayers to be right here, right now. We want the answers to be here. We want to know that our prayers are not being stagnant, that they are actually rising up and going to the heavens. There's your prayer. It's going up. We're sending it up on the wings of the eagle. And now I'm going to have each of you stand with me, or I want you to face the east direction, wherever you're at. And I'm going to take you around the circle of life in a sacred way. And as we go to the east direction in the circle of life, the east direction represents the beginnings, the the start of a new day. When the sun rises in the east, it tells you a new day is beginning. So we look to the east direction as a place of beginnings. You want the beginning of a relationship, the beginning of a new career, the beginning of moving into a new home, the beginning of a new era in your life. To be blessed, you look to the east direction. So we look to the east direction. We want all of our beginnings to be blessed right now. We want the beginning of a brand new life, full of joy, full of prosperity, full of abundance, a fulfilling life, a peaceful life. We look to the east direction, and we bring that in for each of you today. And now we go to the south direction. So we're going to face the south direction. In the circle of life, the south direction is the harvest of everything that you need. It's the physical direction. Your health, your vitality, your immune system, your heart, your vitality, your energy, your resources, finances, provision, nutrition, loved ones, all the things you need while you're walking on the earth. We want to bring in that harvest for each of you, that you would be able to embrace that, receive it, that gift of prosperity, abundance, of health. And now we go to the west direction. And the west direction is where the sun sets. Unlike the sun rising in the east, when the sun sets in the west, it becomes dark. Darkness is the spiritual direction. In the darkness is where we see the true light. Your dreams, your intuition, your sensing, your spirituality, your sense of knowing, the west direction. That is the foundation for our life, the spiritual. And so we want to be able to go into the west direction without any fear. And we want to be able to go deeper and deeper and deeper. In the darkness is where you will find the true light. And so we want to be able to find that beautiful light inside greeting us, that beauty, that amazing light to guide us. We look to the west direction and we bring that into our lives today. And we go to the north direction. And the north direction is where a place of the ancestors and the elders, place of the eagle soaring. And so we go to the north direction into that place of stillness, not needing to do anything, just simply being still. And so we go into the north direction and we want to be able to go within. We want to be able to let go. We want to be able to spread our wings like an eagle. So I want each of you now to open your hearts like this. And I want you to spread your wings. The only act that it takes for you for your wings to spread, for an eagle's wings to spread, all it takes is for that eagle to open its heart. The only thing we need to do to soar is to open our heart. Be vulnerable. Be transparent. Give it one more try. Trusting, being vulnerable, and your wings automatically spread like an eagle. Thank you for doing that. And we want to honor Mother Earth, the female energy we call Mother, because Mother Earth has provided for us, provided food for us, nourishment, has given us crops, has grown crops for us, has given us materials to build our homes, has allowed us to drive our vehicles, to build our homes. We want to honor Mother Earth. Mother Earth has been very, very gracious to us, but also Mother Earth is receptive, just like the soil that receives the sunshine, the heat, the rain, the seed that lands in it. Mother Earth is also vulnerable. So we want to be respectful of Mother Earth and not put poisons, not to continue to overbuild, and suffocate her. So we thank you, Mother Earth, for being a good mother to us. Father Sky, male energy, active forces. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing, the thunder and lightning are happening, the rain is falling. These are active forces. They're expressive. And so we want to have that male energy in us also to be able to be active, to be assertive, to speak our truth, say what we feel, say no to people, set boundaries, be strong, be able to express yourself freely. And so that's able to shine like the sun. We thank you, Father Sky, for teaching us. And Spirit, we thank you for this beautiful time, this beautiful moment. Bless each of these people today. And now I'd like to take a moment to guide each of you in a healing meditation. I am a Native American sound healer. And so I use the voice, the drum, and the flute. The very ancient, primal, simple, true sounds that we have used to take us into ceremony, to guide us, to bring us joy, to keep us dancing. So I'm going to guide you with the voice, the drum, and the flute. And I want you not to do anything. When I guide you in meditation, it's not like you need to get your hands in a certain mudra and that you need to get cross-legged or you need to be in a certain building at a certain time. No. Throw away the expectations. When I teach meditation, it is simply being still long enough to feel. That's all. I want you to be open to feeling. Sounds like a Daryl Hall song. Okay, so I'm going to guide you in a feeling place, and I want you to relax. I want you to be open. I'm going to do all the work for you. Talking about balance. I'm a double Gemini. So instead of one twin, I have two twins. So there are 4 Tonys in one here, okay? So when I do live music, I don't need a recording studio and lay down tracks. I do everything spontaneous and I multitask, okay? That's why I was born on June 9th, a double Gemini, because this is what I was made to do. So I'm going to guide you in a meditation and you don't need to do anything. I'm going to do all the work for you. All you need to do is simply get comfortable wherever you're at. If you want to lay down, if you want to sink down into your chair, if you want to lower the lights, this is a time for you to be able to receive the gift. Okay? So I want you to receive the gift and I want you to receive some healing in your life right now. I want you to receive some stillness and I want you to be able to go on a journey. And I want to be able to transport you. I want you to be open to wherever the sound guides you, wherever it takes you. It can take you to another world. It can take you to another time. It can rewind the clock and you can go back to being a little child, a little toddler. You can go back to memories. So I want you to be open to wherever the sound guides you, to seeing visions, colors, to feel emotions. And I want you to be able to respond to whatever I'm doing, okay? So I want you to get into a very relaxed posture. Sit back, lay down, whatever you need to do. And I'm going to take you on a little journey right now. This is time for you to receive a gift. And as Janet mentioned, I have many recordings. In fact, we're going to gift 4 people with my CDs today. So I'm going to get your mailing address. Janet or Corey are going to give me 4 names and I'm going to mail the CDs to you. My meditation CDs are for healing and they're for letting go, for relaxing. So I want you just to now enjoy this time. Just be open to wherever the sound takes you. Let it transport you. I want you to first feel the heartbeat. I want every cell in your body. The receptors in your skin can feel this heartbeat. Your muscles, your nerves, your fingers, your toes, even your hair follicles can feel the heartbeat. Your liver, your heart, the blood flowing through your veins, your thoughts, your fears, your confusion, your memories. You can feel the heartbeat. The heartbeat is a symbol, once again, of love. Constant, never ending, eternal, true, faithful, unconditional love. So I want you to allow your mind, your body, and your soul to receive that unconditional love. That means there are no expectations. You don't need to be perfect. You don't even need to be right or left. You don't need to be anything except yourself. And you are completely, unconditionally cherished, loved, treasured, appreciated, honored, just the way you are. So just allow the heartbeat to go through all the layers that you have created: time, space, relationships, career, family. Allow the heartbeat to go through all the layers and to touch and heal the deepest part of your heart. So just simply receive, no expectations, unconditional love. How does that feel to be loved, cherished, honored, appreciated, just the way you are? Song of beginnings. Beautiful beginning. Continue to relax. Continue to let go. Imagine yourself being that little child running through that field, excited, exploring, open, not a care in the world. The wind blowing through your hair, and you're running freely, and your bare feet through that tall green grass. Even the birds know who you are, singing songs to you as you pass. And you see that stream ahead. Beautiful, clean, glistening water, reflecting in the sun. And you run to that stream, so excited. And you stoop down, and you see that beautiful water. And you stick your toes in the water. And you feel that electricity going through your whole being. Because you see your face reflecting like a mirror in that water. And your face is smiling back at you. And then you see the beautiful pebbles on the surface of the water, where the sun is touching them. And they look so wonderful, beautiful. You notice them. They catch your eye. But then you reach down because you see deep in the stream of water, beneath the surface, you see a little pebble that has rolled down to the bottom of the stream, where it's not noticed. It's hidden. It's cold. It's not warm. And you reach down, and you pick up that pebble that has fallen down, tumbled down to the bottom, and you realize that it's you. And as you hold that pebble in your hand, you feel how smooth all the rough edges have worn away. The sharpness is gone. And you hold that pebble in your hand. And it is so smooth and beautiful.
and you realize it's because all the currents have washed over and over and over your life. All the challenges, the health issues, the conflict with people, the misunderstandings, the isolation have made you that beautiful, smooth pebble. And the heavens tell you, as they hold you in their hand, that you are beautiful, you are amazing, and the heavens are smiling at you. And then, just like opening your eyes from a dream, you begin to see the beauty. Just like we're laid in a hospice bed, and we begin to soar to the heavens. All that we've known, all that we've loved, and we begin a new life. When I open up my eyes, a new world to me appears. The crystal sea that sparkles bright. Bringing waves of healing over me. Where the sun did always rise. I now stand there tall and clear. Only peace, there is no fear. Because love has brought me here. Releasing all I ever known.
On earth it all felt so very true. But now there is no time to see the love that we always knew. Yeah, yeah. Way Thank you so much for taking that time out of your life to be still long enough to feel. How do you feel?
Quieted.
Right? Anybody able to go anywhere besides the room that you're sitting in and see anything else?
I went to Tahoe.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Good.
What were you doing in Tahoe?
Oh, sitting on the beach, watching the water,
How did it feel?
calming.
Calming? Okay.
Mm.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I went to a place that I often went to when I was a child. When you were talking about 5 years old,
Uh-huh.
I remembered there was this little grassy hillside that I used to love to just lie down there and watch the sky and imagine what I was seeing in the clouds. I would see all kinds of things in the clouds, and there were purple irises that my mother had planted that grew behind that grassy hill, and purple's one of my favorite colors. And I just felt always when I was a child, that was my place to just go and be. I was just always so relaxed there, so at peace there. And so I went back to that place and it was wonderful. Thank you.
Good to see you, Kathy.
You too, Tony.
Else able to be transported somewhere? Yes, Bonnie.
I Thank you. I was able to connect with an elder who put their hand on my hand and let me know that I'm doing good work. It's very powerful. Thank you.
Nice. Nice. Well, beautiful. Thank you for letting me guide you in that moment. You know, all it takes is one sound. I'm always about one, okay? Because I've learned in my life that being a double Gemini, I had to learn to bring things down to one and to very simple places, okay? And thank goodness for a Taurus rising. The bull pulls all of us together and says, okay, all four of you, we're going to do this. We're going to say this. We're going to speak this. We're going to teach this. And so it has, the bull was strong and says, okay, we're going to, all four of you now are going to do this. So everything works out perfectly. You know, everything is perfect just the way it is right now. And so I like to, you know, in my hospice work, I'm always facing, you know, people, and as I go down the halls, and sometimes when I go into the rooms that the family wants me to play music to that person laying in a hospice bed, then I'm able to see, you know, how their whole journey has been since that, and they're at this place here where they're going to transition. And this is so important because we learn, once again, as we observe and we witness and we watch and we pray and we watch people, we watch things that we encounter, and we learn by looking into the eyes of people that are dying, you know. And many times in this modern society, we don't want to talk about that, you know. We want to, you know, we want to see commercials where, you know, here's anti-aging cream. Oh, let's have some Botox. Let's have six-pack abs. Let's dye our hair. We don't want to look at this. So society has a way of having us be distracted and not really looking at the beauty of transition. As Native Americans, we honor and we respect and we cherish and we take care of our elders. We see them as valuable. We listen to them. We learn from them. In this society, in modern society, we cast the old people away. We put them somewhere. Okay? But in Native American, once again, indigenous cultures, we honor, we respect the wisdom of our elders. We take care of them. We open the door for them. We visit them. We give them gifts. We listen to them. And so this is a very important place here. When people are transitioning, it speaks to us. When we grieve the loss of somebody, it causes us to redefine who we are. You know, we have to look at, hey, you know, I've done healing sessions for a woman that lost her husband, loved him to death, kissed him goodnight, went to check on him later on, he was dead, heart attack, gone. No final conversations, no goodbye, sudden. And so she had to redefine her role in life. I'm no longer a wife. I don't have a loving husband. You know, she had to redefine herself. And so grieving is a really, once again, we're in the autumn season. Even though our leaves are not green and vibrant and shiny like everyone wants them to be, we're going to the true colors. If you think about photosynthesis, all the constant sunlight is what causes the green life, the green leaves. When the sunlight is not so constant, we go back to our natural color on the tree. Our tree of life becomes like this. Our true colors come out beneath the surface of the shiny, green, vibrant leaves, the superficial. This is who we are. And so when we come to this place in our season, in our circle of life, then we begin to look at, you know, did I make peace with my sister? Did I forgive my mom for putting me up for adoption? You know, we look at all of these transitions, all of these eras in our life, because when we come to this place, we're facing them, looking at them right in our face. And there's a difference between people like this in a hospice bed with a smile in their face and a twinkle in their eye, and they're ready to go. Because they have made peace, they have made amends, they have forgiven, they have settled, they have resolved relationships in all of their transitions. And they're ready to go. Other people, like this. Not ready. The people here like that, how can I die now? I never even lived. I lived for everybody else. I never even knew who I was. I never even found my greatest love. I never fulfilled my greatest dream. I never lived. How can I go now? So we want to really come to this place in each season of our life, just like the springtime, summer, fall, and winter. We want each season to be resolved, to be at peace, to settle it so that the new season can start. Want that season to be resolved, to make peace with it, to speak to it, have conversations with it, allow it to end, and then a new season starts. We want our whole life to be these transitions that have been complete, that have been settled. So when we come to this place, we're ready to go, okay? And so it's a beautiful lesson that I've learned in a hospice. I was, the last time I was in a hospice sharing flute music, the parents came running to the hall and said, hurry, come. Willow was ready to transition. And Willow was their 2-year-old daughter, laying there, terminal from birth. She had been there a year earlier, and she had been in the hospice, and I had played flute music to her a year earlier. And she remembered it. And ever since that time, her parents wanted them to buy, she wanted her parents to buy CDs with Native American flute music. Listen to it. And here she was for her final transition. And I was looking at her in her eyes, playing flute, you know. And as I was playing the flute, you know, to her, looking into her eyes, tears were coming down my eyes. Tears were coming down mom and dad's eyes. But I realized, once again, observing and witnessing, that 2-year-old girl was ready to go. She only needed 2 years on the earth to receive and to embrace and to experience unconditional love from her parents. And she was ready to go. I'm done. It only took 2 years. It took 2 years for her parents to learn to cherish and to nurture and to care for that daughter for 2 years. They did what they were meant to do for her. So all it took was 2 years for her to be on this earth. She was ready to go. Another time I was playing flute music, walking down the halls, and I was looking in one of the rooms. And there was an elderly woman there, very frail. And she was not conscious. She was very frail. She was laying there, getting ready to transition. And as I started playing flute through the doorway, looking at her, This frail elderly woman raised her hands with her eyes closed, gracefully. Every note that I was playing, it was like she was conducting an orchestra in the heavens. Every single note, gracefully with her hands. Another time I was playing flute down the hall, and a woman came to me and said, hurry, hurry, my mom is ready to soar. And I went to play flute to the mom. She was laying there. She was unconscious. I was playing flute to her. And the woman's brother was next to the bed too, and I was playing flute. And the mom woke up and she goes, she looked at her daughter, she said, and she said, Phil, I need you to go with me. And Phil had died 2 weeks earlier. It was her husband. And she looked at her daughter and she said, oh, he must be sleeping. And it clicked in my mind that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Phil used to take naps. He was sleeping. When we leave this world, we're not going to turn into an angel of light and be transformed. You know, when we leave this world, we're going to be the same person. That's why when somebody's transitioning, they go, oh, I see Aunt Hilda and I see Uncle Joe, because they're recognizable. They have the same personality, the same quirks. They still take a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? So the lesson I learned there was this, that if we stay the same when we leave this world, we're the same person, the same energy, guess what? We better go back and heal all of those areas in our life that we need to heal and settle them. Otherwise, we're going to carry all of that with us. So some beautiful things that we learn, once again, as Native Americans, we like to witness, we like to watch, we like to observe, we like to step back. I remember my dad, when he was alive, somebody would ask him a question and he would just sit there. And maybe 10 minutes later, he'd answer them. He would just take his time. He used to say, when it's time, it's time. Okay? There's no rush. When it's time, it's time. And so it's a beautiful legacy that we have. You know, I have to share part of my journey with you, because I have looked at my circle of life and I have learned from that. And when I was in Deepak Chopra's film documentary, Death Makes Life Possible, he brought me in as one of the luminaries because of my hospice work and because of my perspective about life and death. And they actually filmed me doing a ceremony, a transition ceremony for a man that was dying of brain cancer in the film. And that person, Manuel, wanted to be filmed because he wanted all other people that were dying of cancer to not be afraid to transition. So he wanted it to be public. So in that film, you see me doing a transition ceremony for Manuel. And as I'm doing the ceremony, he's laying there and he's receiving everything. And I'm speaking to him, and I'm helping him transition. And you know what? Several months later, his brother called me and he said, Manuel is drinking beer. He's driving his lowrider again. He's getting into trouble. He has too much energy and he needs to go get a job. The ceremony reversed. So when we do these ceremonies, sometimes we don't know whether it's actually going to help them transition. He went back and he started doing the things that he wanted to do for like another 6 months, okay? So it's a beautiful thing. He was dying of brain cancer. But in my own journey, even from the age of being 5 and beginning my journey as being a spokesperson for Native American culture, my dad he put his hand on my shoulder. And now I think about this and look at the picture. He put his hand on my shoulder. And his other hand was on my arm, on my bicep. One on my shoulder, one on my arm. So his strength and his guidance was on my shoulder. But he was also putting the other. Okay, am I okay now? Okay, so my dad knew with one hand on my shoulder, he was guiding me, but with his other hand on my arm, he was saying, I better hold this kid back because he has the potential to get into a lot of trouble, which I did, okay? And he can be pretty wild. And that's what I did. From the time I was 14 years old, I was strung out and I was addicted. I was in a mental hospital when I was 14 in Salinas, California. Overdose of LSD and speed, which I had been doing. And so I began my addiction at a young age, and I was placed in a foster home in another city. And in that foster home in another city, I was placed under the care of foster parents that were drug addiction counselors, but they were hippies. And the court put me there to be rehabilitated. From the night I was there in that foster home, they told me, you can do whatever you want except LSD because it makes your head mushy. So the whole time I was in this foster home, I was partying with adults. I was drinking. I was doing everything with adults. And I was subjected to adults sexually, molested. I was raped. And I was not rehabilitated. And so the rest of my life for 40 years was hell, okay? Because of the trauma back here. And detoxed 120 times in Tucson, in and out, overdoses, emergency rooms, 5 marriages, 5 divorces, train wreck all the way. So when I talk about going back and healing, I'm telling you, that's what I had to do. I had to go back and make these things right. That has allowed me to begin a new season in my work today. So I hope this has been a blessing to you, the time that I've shared with you, and being able to let you know, let into my heart, being able to be intimate with myself. Into me I see, and of it all, good, bad, and ugly, allows me to allow you into me you can see, and to see the open book, okay? We want to be an open book. We want to be transparent. We want to be vulnerable. We don't want to feel shame. We don't want to feel like we need to hide things. We don't want to need to pretend to be something else that we're not. We always want to live from the heart and really create the dream that we want to fulfill. And so this is my legacy today, is that I work with people that are seeking direction, seeking guidance. It's also ironic that my mom also named me as a child when I was born after Saint Anthony de Padua, who was the finder of lost things. And what do? I find souls and I help them to find their way. Drug addiction, alcoholism. And he also was a great orator. He was a self-taught speaker and thousands of people would come to listen to him. And guess what? I'm a keynote speaker. So how ironic that, you know, we're born under a certain astrological sign, we're born under a certain religion, and we are made just exactly the way that we're supposed to be. And each of us have those gifts from our ancestors. And I really appreciate each of you spending time with me today and just opening your heart and allowing me to share some gifts with you today. So I didn't know whether, Corey, if you want to open up for Q&A or if we want to be able to have discussion, I'm welcome. I welcome that too.
That would be wonderful. And Tony, we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from our whole beings, for your gift of your essence and your gift that you give to the world and giving it to us, and that we may receive it in deep gratitude. Would anyone like to share something or have a question for Tony?
Yes, Dahlia?
Yeah, I think that music that you played in the meditation was amazing. It really took me to another place, and I was feeling like a lot of injuries or like pain or discomfort coming up and then leaving my body. And the sound healing is just so beautiful. And I'm trying to remember when I saw you last. It could have been like 10 years ago even, or 7, something like that. It was in, I'm in New York right now, by the way. I live in New York now, but in San Jose in Mountain View, it was like from the Science of Mind church that was there. And I remember you did a talk, and I was one of the people that came up on stage, and you used the drum, and that like straightened me out a lot. And then I saw this advertisement that you were going to be presenting, and I thought, this is great. You never know who you're going to see again, right? But yeah, so the drumming, it did the same thing for me again, and I hope that everybody else really benefited from that, because it is really simple. It's like making it really simple and easy for people to understand. And I don't think that healing, like in addition to spirituality, I don't think that healing has to be complicated.
Yeah,
Exactly. Healing, my definition of healing is being one with yourself.
mm-hmm.
Mind, body, and soul. When I do holistic work, I did with male I get into this mind, body, and
It
soul.
doesn't mean you have to be disrespected.
Right.
Bring everything into one, then you're healed. When every cell is pulsing together, every thought, every emotion is pulsing together at one time. That's when I use the drum, like with Dahlia, and the body feels it, the mind hears it, your senses, everything is captured by that vibration, and everything starts pulsing as one heartbeat. Then you're healed. Cancer is when certain cells are free radicals doing their own thing. They're independent. They're not pulsing together. So even with a cancer patient, I will bring all the cells back into one place. Okay. So healing, once again, is simply being one with yourself on a personal basis. Now, society, if society would choose to unite and all of us would pulse together with love, society would be healed. Now, if the world would also do the same thing, then we would have, the world would be healed. Okay. So healing, like you said, it's very simple. It's being one with yourself.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think what you just said is really true and really powerful, Tony. I know I'm also a person in recovery from addiction, from having been sexually assaulted more than once. I've been married 3 times and divorced fortunately now have a partner that I'm really happy with. But I found what you said about healing being simple to be so powerful and true, because over the course of my journey, there were many, many times when I would go with therapists, and I'm not trying to downgrade therapy in any way. It was helpful to me to a point. It got me through some crises, but I didn't really find healing, because that's the key word. I didn't really find healing until I found the kinds of things that you're talking about. I was fortunate enough to get into a white bison program, which is the same kind of thing that you're teaching about, you know, the circle, the seasons, the different phases of our life, and going back and making peace and making amends with all of those things. And so I'm really grateful that you I was still talking and I got muted for some reason. Anyway, I wanted to say
Sorry.
I'm really grateful that you shared this with us, because I think it's so powerful. The whole symbolism, like you said, so simple, of the circle of life, the seasons, that thing of making amends. It's what you're sharing with people is so powerful and so important, and I'm very grateful.
Yes.
Thank you, Kathy. And I don't know what happened. I apologize for that mute. Beautiful words.
It was really an amazing experience for me. Sound healing is a passion of mine, and it's not something that I've studied deeply, but it was my project when I first went into my ministry was sound healing. And this tonight took me on a journey that I haven't had such a deep journey in a very long time. And I could feel ancestors around me. I could feel that I was being held. I've had a lot of loss in my life the last couple of years. Lost all three of my parents in the last 2 years, and so it was amazing to feel that energy, and I'm just so grateful and so honored to have been able to sit to this amazing evening with you, Tony. Thank you very, very much.
And Tony, thank you again. I thought Patty and Joyce wanted to talk, but I can't see. Did you guys get your microphone on? Oh, there you are. Patty, Joyce? Okay. I'm sorry, I saw them.
I'd like to ask a question if it's okay. Could I ask a question? Okay. I really appreciated what you said about transparency and vulnerability and being an open book. And I think that's something that I'm kind of working through right now. I think, sometimes, we have, kind of our personas, our masks for the world. And sometimes it's kind of scary to let go of those. And I just wondered if you had any kind of comment on generally sort of developing the courage and kind of walking the walk daily.
I think you're on mute, Tony.
And I didn't do it. I sent him a message to unmute.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Good. Yes.
Excellent.
So expectations are over here. Okay, looking a certain way, acting a certain way, being a certain way, presenting ourselves a certain way, that's acceptable. Okay, expectations. And we start experiencing these as soon as we start hitting kindergarten or first grade, okay? Then that creates over here shame, judgment, comparisons, condescending. And then that results over here, fear. Most of us are over here living in fear our whole life of not being shamed, made fun of, ridiculed, judged, compared to other people because we are following expectations. My advice to you, throw the expectations out the window. No expectations. That's my equation. Expectations, judgment, shame, comparison lead to fear. It all starts with expectations. Throw them out the window. It'll free you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So all of these things, Indigenous, Native American, they're earth-based, organic, simple. We didn't have technology. We didn't try to write books. We didn't, have religions as such, expectations. We simply flowed. We lived intuitively. If you live intuitively, like our ancestors a long time ago before we were civilized, you followed your heart. That was your survival tool. Okay. Your intuition is your survival tool. It still is today in the modern world. We need to use our intuition. We need to feel that sense of what is making sense to us, what is real to us. And we need to follow our heart, not our mind. Okay. And when we start listening to our intuition, a long time ago, before we were civilized, it saved us from dying. I mean, if we walked into a forest and we saw a flock of birds go, whoosh, we knew there was probably a bear and they're waiting for us. Okay. So it kept us alive. It helped us survive. Our intuition was that sense of knowing, watching the sky red the night before, knowing there was going to be a storm. We're always observing and watching. We need to continue to do that. Instead of relying on technology, on other people, that kind of thing, we need to follow our hearts, continue to follow our hearts. And our intuition is going to tell us, if there is a red flag, if you go on a date with somebody, which I've done, now, and they might smell good, sound good, everything else. But there's something that they say or something that they do that is a red flag. That's your intuition telling you, no, don't go there. Okay? So our intuition is always going to be guiding us to what is going to be fulfilling and what is also going to be the wrong path. And so we want to continue to be, as Indigenous people, as Native Americans, and live from the heart. Our heart will always tell you what is going to be perfectly right for you. Not the mind take you to rabbit trails and take you down a rabbit hole. I know, okay? And it can. The mind can take you down. I mean, I'm a Gemini, so there's four air signs, okay? So anyway, we want to be able to follow our heart and really allow it to guide us, and it will guide us clearly every single decision that we make. The new home we're going to move into, the neighborhood that you're considering moving into, going to a certain business or certain things. We're always going to have those. Animals, birds, nature will always tell you, and they will guide you as part of your intuition. I had a coyote appear to me last week, just sitting there next door on the lawn, scratching itself. It was itchy, scratching itself. And it wasn't even scared of me because it was so itchy. It was just scratching itself. And I thought, who have I been in contact with recently that is that coyote? Trickster, joker, okay, that is not who they say they are, and has a big itch that they want me to scratch. So once again, even animals, the universe will assist us in giving us signs, and that will tie in with our intuition. How many of you dream? How many of you follow your dreams? I have a dream journal next to my bed every night, open with a pen ready to go every single night, because my dreams are my resource for receiving wisdom more than my conscious thinking. I get more wisdom in my dreams, and they are more direct, because the heavens tell me, they say, Tony, now you're asleep. Now your mind is asleep. And now we can actually talk to you and tell you what we've been meaning to tell you. Your mind's out of the way. That's when I receive wisdom. Dreams, nature, animals, birds, people that come into your path that you encounter, songs that you listen to that might have a certain word in it. When you drive by a certain store, it might have a sign there. All of these things, we can use our intuition and we can be perfectly directed in a modern world today. I'm going to be giving the CDs to whoever you choose to, Janet and Corey. Release is about letting go. It's my CD I created from the hospice. And it's about letting go of the past. And the second song is called Joy, because that's when you enter into joy. The words that I'm singing were channeled to me about what you would be singing if you were laying in a hospice bed, what you would be saying to your loved ones, what you would be saying to yourself, and what you would be saying to the heavens. The words were given to me. As I was driving up to Phoenix to the recording studio, I was driving the freeway and I had my pen going like this. Okay? So this song, this is a CD for releasing anything that does not give you life anymore. This is Deep Within. It's a double CD. It is a guided meditation. It's a healing CD. And it will take you back to the beginning of your life with a heartbeat. It will take you back to feel your life. This is
Excellent.
The second CD is just the music alone. It's a massage therapist. You will produce a second CD just for the heartbeat, for the voice, the hum of the voice. So these are going to be gifts.
That is such a gift, Tony. And the gift of your presence and your sharing and your weaving, your wisdom, with all of us.
Janet, I'm sorry. Oh,
Right
when you get
ahead.
done, let me know. I assign numbers to everybody, and I'm going to do a random generation before you close us out, Jan.
Perfect.
So some people have signed off. I'm just going to continue on. Gail is number 1. Kay, you're number 2. Terry, number 3. Michael, 4. Lauren, 5. Andrea, 6. Donna, 7. Mariana, 8. Kathy, 9. And 10. Nancy's 11. Corky, 12. Dahlia's 13. Kathleen, you're 14. John, 15. Patty and Joyce, 16. And Jan, yours is 17. Mary and Tom is 18. Bonnie, 19. Zeta, 20. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Barb,
You say that.
21. Tricia, 22. Brenda, 23. Laura, 24. Maggie, 25. Regina, 26. Elizabeth, 27. Lavella, 28. And Chris, 29. I've excluded myself and Jan, of course. So I'm going to share my screen and do a real quick random generator. Where it is, there it is. And if everybody can see that, so I put the numbers, it'll be 1 through 29 on my screen. And then what I like to do is just hit the generate the first number. 26, Regina, you'll get a copy. Number 10, and Corbin, you'll get a copy. Number 4 is Michael Mahoney. You'll get a copy. And the last lucky person is number 21, and that's Barb Richmond. So those, I hope everybody's okay with me doing it that way. It was the fairest thing I could think of, without having, everybody's name in a hat and somebody here to draw it out. So let me get off the screen share. Stop share. Okay. And before you close, Jan, Tony, thank you so much for sharing with us your gifts and everything. As president of the UCM organization, we have so many wonderful healers in our group, and your insight, I am sure, is going to be well used by a lot of our healers. We have healers of all different types of healing, but they all tend to speak the same language as you do. And it was wonderful to hear you. So for me, I appreciate you and I thank you very much. And now I'll turn it over to Janet.
And I just would love to read some of the comments. Really powerful and deeply meaningful talk. Thank you. Thank you, Tony, Janet.
Janet, you're muted again. You're muted.
Thank you. And from Lavella, I just wanted to thank Tony. This is semi-new to me. I've got neuropathy and I relaxed following Tony's instructions. And I'm not tingly. I was stressed. I'm not stressed anymore. Wow. So, Tony, please take our love and deep appreciation and gratitude for you in the world, for what you've given us, but also what you have given everybody that you have crossed paths with.
Janet,
We're so grateful. Yes.
is I'm sorry. Is there a way we can somehow get a CD even though we didn't get the drawing?
Yes, I think we can purchase his CDs. So absolutely. One of the things
Okay.
about this educational program is that it allows people to share their gifts, and so then we can share and give and receive as well. And so we will work on that, Tricia.
Okay,
Tricia,
I'll be in contact with you.
okay,
Great.
great. We'll need your address, love. Thank you.
Yes, we will get you one.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. I'll be in touch with you, Janet.
Wonderful.
Okay.
everybody for
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. Thank you. All of our circles came together and we created what you would call the universe. The universe is all the circles of life coming together. So I want to thank you for being a beautiful part of creating the universe as a beautiful, complete place and allowing me to be here with you.
Thank you so much, Tony. And we're going to need your address because you're going to receive this candle from us as a gratitude of being here, and so that you will always have the memory of our light with yours.
Touch.
Thank you so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
Thank you and many blessings. By the way, I have a niece that's a double Gemini as well.
And I am a double Gemini.
Yeah.
My birthday is in June 1st. My mom's is June 9th. My mom's was June 9th. So I'm Gemini also.
That's a Gemini.
My son TJ is a Gemini. His birthday is May 29th.
That's Lavella's beautiful son.
I'll be doing a concert in Willits, California, February 26th. The only place in California open for me to do a public show.
We actually just moved to Willits, Jan and I.
Really?
But we'll have a house party.
Willits Center for the Arts.
Okay. If
I've already reserved the great room and the small room. I'm going to be teaching Dreamcatcher making.
we'll be there. Absolutely. We'll be there.
Making.
Anybody else wants to come, let us know. We got 2 other bedrooms. So. All right, everyone. I thank you again for everything. I am going to go ahead and close the meeting out. So again, thank you and stay tuned.
Thank you.
For more wonderful classes like Tony. I'm sure not as good, but maybe a little different. So thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.